I have watched a movie called The Truman Show before, which tells a particularly absurd and heartbreaking story. Truman is a fool living in his own world. He has no idea that he has been living in the world's largest reality show since birth. The Taoyuan island where he lives is actually a giant studio, with his wife being an actress and his neighbors performing in groups. Even the weather is controlled by the director using machines. The most amazing thing is that he brushes his teeth, eats, and goes to work every day, with a global audience watching live 24 hours a day, just like watching a reality show. Drawing a portrait of Jim Carrey is so interesting. This guy's face was born for comics. We need to capture his iconic features. The most amazing thing about this guy is his rubber face. When drawing, he has to express his exaggerated facial expressions and muscle movements. For example, his classic way of laughing is to lift his zygomatic muscle high, squint his eyes into slits, and squeeze out 3 layers of forehead wrinkles. Sometimes highlight strokes in a painting are the best way to express structure. Here I added a lot of cold colors to the highlights to further highlight the relationship and influence with the environment. The corrugator supercilii is an important form of expression for people, and is also an important expression of the volume and space of a portrait. His forehead is high and broad, like a piece of elastic rubber canvas. When he speaks, his forehead dances with the lines. For example, when you open your eyes wide, 3 deep grooves appear on your forehead, and when you grin, the blue veins on your forehead jump. A high and broad forehead provides an extra large area for expression, and this muscle control is called facial stunts. The off-work part of the face is the main expression area of the character's facial expressions, and there are also many active muscles. Each muscle works together to create a rich expression of joy, anger, sadness, and happiness in the character. The delicate brushstrokes also need to be expressed more carefully, and when painting, attention should be paid to depicting the traces of time. Use a fine pen or small brush to gently draw the outline of the chin. Don't forget to add those wrinkles to make the chin look more realistic. Look at the corner of his mouth, slightly raised, as if smiling, full of comedic talent. The lines of these lips must be drawn particularly delicately, expressing that kind and sense of time. When drawing, it is necessary to first gently outline the contour of the lips, and then slowly fill in the color to make the lips look more three-dimensional. Especially at the corners of the mouth, it needs to be drawn very vividly, feeling like you're about to laugh out loud in the next second. Draw your eyes slightly larger than normal, but don't exaggerate too much. Pay attention to his unique eyelid curvature, with a distinctive drooping of the inner corner of the eye. The nose bridge is straight but the nose tip is round. When drawing the nostrils, do not paint them as black holes, gently brush them with light gray and add some highlights. To be honest, when I first started learning to draw, I thought I could immediately create amazing masterpieces. What was the result? The lines are crooked like a power pole swept by a typhoon, the shadows are burnt into a clump of coal ash, and even drawing an apple can be jokingly referred to by classmates as a potato with a tumor. Someone pointed at my painting and said, "Your painting, dogs are even better than yours." Others asked sarcastically, "Isn't your abstract school tuition quite expensive? Is it uncomfortable?" Of course it's uncomfortable. Every time I draw, I feel like even the paper is mocking me. But later, when I turned to Leonardo da Vinci's words, I was suddenly moved. The works of art that are never completed, only the works that are abandoned. This old man can even draw an egg 1,000 times. I thought, what's wrong with drawing a crooked line? I can just erase it and start over. Those laughing voices were just the noise of fingernails scraping against the mirror. I began practicing like crazy, spending every day in the studio after school. Can't draw lines? I practice until my wrist is sore. Can't seem to match colors? I'll put a color wheel on my bedside table and look at it every day. At the most difficult time, I revised the sketch more than 20 times. I remember one time when I was painting watercolors, the paint was too mixed, but I insisted on waiting for the paper to dry before continuing to paint, and in the end the result was actually quite good. Back to this painting, the nose bridge is straight but the nose tip is round. When drawing the nostrils, don't paint them black, use light gray to lightly fill them. The mouth is key. When he smiles, the corners of his mouth should extend outward toward his ears. His lips should be full and plump, with the lower lip thicker than the upper lip. The mop head, that was his trademark when he was young, but in recent years he has mostly had short, naturally curly hair. This guy may appear to be a king of comedy, but he often has a melancholy look in his eyes. Try painting him in a moment of deep thought, using bold strokes to convey his emotion. At the end of the painting, some repairs are made to make the work look as perfect as possible, and then the portrait is considered completed.